So there was a hearing in the Senate today to consider Donald Trump's latest nominees for lifetime appointments to the federal judiciary. And among them is Trump's former lawyer, who also served as his acting deputy attorney general, Emil Bovee. And remember, it was Bovee who effectively led the DOJ's purge of lawyers who worked on January 6 cases. That guy. It was Bovee who prompted mass resignations when he ordered charges to be dropped against Eric Adams. And it was Bovee who, according to a new whistleblower report, told DOJ officials that he was willing to defy court orders to carry out Trump's immigration crackdown. As that whistleblower wrote, Bovee stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, F you, and ignore any such order. Joining me now is Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California. He's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Schiff, let me just ask you, I mean, during the hearing, and we gave one example, which was a big moment during that hearing when you were questioning him, he offered, though, throughout, basically shifting rationales, refused to answer a number of straightforward questions about his actions. What stuck out to you today?
Well, there were a number of things that stuck out. In that exchange, which went on for some time, he reiterated he just didn't remember whether he had suggested that they should ignore court orders and say F you to the court. I was a prosecutor more than 30 years ago, and even though it's been a long time, I would remember if I suggested saying F you to the court and ignoring a court order. That's simply not credible. And so many of the prosecutors that felt they had to resign because what they were being asked to do by Emil Bovee was so immoral, so violative of the rules of the Justice Department and the policies and, you know, the ethics of the department. And those prosecutors have so much more credibility than Emil Bovee. But I was also struck in questioning him about the dismissal of the corruption case against the mayor of New York, because he was the architect. He was the one that was pushing for that. His rationale that he did this because the charges against Adams would interfere with the performance of his job. That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard for dismissing a corruption case against an elected official. I served in the public corruption section. I prosecuted corrupt people. And you would never suggest that politicians get a pass because if you were to try them or convict them, it would interfere in their job. And I don't even know how you say that with a straight face, but he tried today.
I mean, it's important to remind people that he is being nominated to an appointment to be a judge, a federal judge, which is a significant appointment. Do you think there's anything that's stopping him in the Senate? I mean, are there enough Republicans who might not support him, or is that a naive hope?
You know, I think there's concern in the administration that the same thing that happened to Ed Martin may happen to Emil Bovee. That is, there's a lot of really bad stuff in his background, and the more it comes out, the more Republicans feel the pressure not to approve such an unqualified person. And it's for that reason we had something very unusual during this confirmation hearing today, and that is the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, both Bondi and Blanche, sat there for hours. And they weren't there to be illuminated. They weren't there to show their moral support for Bovee. They were there to keep an eye on the Republicans, to let the Republicans on the committee know we are watching you. We do not want a repetition of that flare-up of conscience that we saw when it came to Ed Martin. You will vote as you're told. And so, you know, I didn't hear anyone on the Republican side of the aisle question him about any of these things, which is really astounding because there were so many things to ask him about, not just the case involving the mayor of New York, not just this whistleblower with the new allegations against him, but also his pressuring one prosecutor to open a criminal case or say there was a criminal case where there was none, forcing her to resign. No, not even a murmur, not even a question, not even a hint of concern about any of this from any of the Republican senators that I heard.